Hello, welcome to my video. Just showcasing my World War II British Army. I've had for a good few years now. I actually completed this army quite a while ago, a bit before I really developed my painting skills, so it is a bit rough around the edges. But I do like it, and it's had a bit of use. I originally bought it for bolt action, but I found I've kind of swayed towards more chain of command by Two Fat Lardies. As I just think is a bit more of a fun game rule set. So these are all Warlord miniatures from the British World War II range. I've got some, well, it's all the plastic infantry kit, so I've got, if we have a quick look, quick maths, 6 sections here, plus slightly under strength section. I based these off 9-man sections with a Bren team and officer or an NCO with a Sten machine gun, or submachine gun should I say, and then I've got a few special weapon teams as well. So I've got 2 Piat launchers, 2 sniper teams, and a 2-inch mortar team, as well as a leader with a couple of supporting riflemen. I've also got 2 Vickers machine gun teams, so they're going to be my medium machine guns, as well as a couple of these kind of nicer models which is just in metal, which I bought as it's just a command sprue basically. So I've got an officer in there, an NCO officer, so, well, I say an NCO officer, NCO, who would be your sort of your sergeant. I've got a medic there with a stretcher, and then a radio operator, which could be like your forward observers or something like that. I do have some armour with this army as well. I've got 2 Sherman tanks, 1 Sherman Firefly, and Cromwell as well, which I haven't got in this video, but I can always show it off at another time. So quite a big force, but not a lot of variation. I quite like the heavy infantry force, that's why I bought so many infantry. I just quite like having that big blob of people rather than being all specialists. I find a lot of games you tend to buy these, say, invest points in, say, anti-tank guns and stuff, which I think is fair enough, but it doesn't have quite the feel when you just storm in like an entrenchment or something like that with a load of troops. It's quite a cool feel to it. I actually missed out on a narrative story day at my local games club, where they're actually just looking at the Normandy campaign. So, well, I think it was just the landings in Normandy, which would have been really fun to kind of partake in, but unfortunately I missed it. So just showing off, like I said, I've got my 6 sections here. Well, I base them around 9-man sections. It might not be 100% true. I know the numbers did vary between sort of what time of war, what time in the war they were set. So earlier war tend to obviously have a bit more troops purely because they had less attrition, whereas the longer you went through the war, obviously numbers would drop off through these sections and units, and they tend to be kind of running on a skeleton crew in some areas. So I kind of stuck with 9. I think I originally set these up to be bolt action units, where 9 was about right. I think if I play chain of command, I might be out on a few numbers. I can't quite remember, but I've got plenty enough units, plenty enough models here to kind of mess around with the unit sizes. So yeah, like I said, I've got those six sections, and then all these special weapons teams, a couple of MGs, the Vickers MGs. I'll show one now. So this is again a Warlord Games miniature. These are actually metal models rather than the plastic infantry. It's a really nice. I don't think this is going to make it any better. No, it's not. Right, yeah. Okay, showing it a bit better. So again, it's not the best painting I've done, but that's just what it's going to be. So yeah, I've got this team here, and I've got another team as well. Exactly the same poses. I've swapped the heads around, so they've got normal standard helmets rather than the helmets with leaves and stuff on. But it's the same. It's the same set. So again, this is a base that came with the set as well. All my infantry are based on bases provided by Warlord games with the box sets. I know my other stuff tends to be on pennies. So that's my 2 machine guns. I've got, for instance, this sniper team. These are just standard infantry models that I've just obviously done with snipers. So it's just a standard guy crouching down. I've given him a sniper rifle, an extra ammo pouch there, and this is just going to be a supporting character that helps him out. Again, I think in bolt action you needed a team of 2 to run a sniper, and same with my 2-inch mortar and my Piat teams. So that's why I've done them in groups of 2. I can't quite remember with chain of command if I need to or not, but yeah, it's something to play around with. I haven't actually got the rule book for chain of command, so I've played it. I've been given a demo game, really enjoyed it. It's probably going to be something I kind of go into next. This is my officer. This is a metal figure. I kind of run him as a, I don't know what, a major or something like that. So it's a really nice miniature. He's holding a map with his pipe in his right hand, pointing at the map, which is quite cool. Again, I painted, this was a very long time ago I painted this guy, so it's not as nice as I could have done, but I kind of think it looks okay. It's, again, the whole tabletop standard, I think it looks alright. I wouldn't be that phased enough to repaint them. So this is just a medic guy. He's got a stretcher. A couple of these metal miniatures, I actually tried the transfers on them. That little first aid thing I ended up painting on, I believe, but you see he's got the transfers on his sleeves. I thought I'd give him a go. I didn't really like him, so I haven't done it with anything else. This is my forward observer guy, whatever you'd call him. It focuses. If you can see, he's got a rifle in his hand, just having a play with his radio, tuning in something. Local radio station maybe. What I really like about these kits is just how that kind of really got a load of stowage, as it were. They've got loads of packs on them and stuff. It makes them look really cool. Originally, when I built a lot of the miniatures, I kind of left them with all the bits and bobs off, and realised actually no, it's quite nice having all this clutter on them, because it kind of makes them look a bit more like an actual functioning army where they've got all their gear with them. So this is like, so this model's the sergeant, or the staff sergeant, or however you want to run him. I'd probably use him as more of a top end NCO rather than just a standard sergeant or corporal, just because he's a metal miniature. Yeah, but it's a really nice miniature. It's nice sculpts. And then, well, my basic squad. We just put this guy. So it's my Bren gunner. Ooh, if it focuses. Again, the uniform isn't really spot on colour for the uniform. It's kind of something I thought, oh, that looks about right, and I went with. So it's all a bit. Again, it looks okay, and I left it, and I thought I'm not gonna change it, just because I've done so many of them. I kind of thought that'll do. So this is a Bren gun. I've got one in every little section. My NCO with his little Sten machine gun, submachine gun, kind of punch in the air, going, oh, you assault that or something like that. Whatever the hand movements are. I think punch, like fist is, well, it's something, I don't know. Assault, go punch someone, go punch the old well, I say Germans, whatever enemy they're against. In theory, it should just be the Germans. But obviously, in a tabletop game, you can kind of fight whoever you want. So yeah, that's like my basic few infantry dudes. This is my Piat launcher. So just got a launcher in his hand, ready to take on a tank. Brave man to run in front of a tiger or something like that and fire this little charge. And this is just his loader. So again, with bolt action, because it was these so the sniper rifles and the Piat launchers and the actual 2-inch mortars were classed as small teams, so you had to have 2 people with them. So basically every launcher and sniper and the 2-inch mortar have a single man just helping them out loading. This is my little 2-inch mortar. This all comes with the infantry box set, all the specialist weapons. So the mortar and the Piat and the sniper, they all come in the standard kit. So you can make pretty good selection of army sections with lots of different weapon variations based just from the basic Warlord box set, which is really good. I found it's just kind of given me good variation to throw down an army. And now I'm going into possibly playing a bit more chain of command with this army. I've got a lot of miniatures to kind of have a bit more freedom of what I want to use. I know chain of command seems to follow the lines of possibly using a bit more elite units in certain respects, as in you can get some points to buy units to add to your army, and people will tend to go for well, I would say people go for the anti-tank, but you do come across a few tanks where I don't really have an anti-tank set up really. Admittedly I have some tanks, but that's it. So if I were to try take on any anti-tanks, any tanks, I'm kind of a bit screwed. But I haven't really come across tanks in it. Like I said, I've only had a demo game and he was really nice and kind of helped me out, and I think I lost, but he didn't roll anything terrifying. But it's a really good rule set. I must admit, I really liked with bolt action was the variation of what units can go, and it was drawn out of a bag, which I quite like the idea of, rather than just kind of me go, they go. I found that was quite a nice idea. However, I really like chain of command, where you get your whole army on the board potentially, but you can't always activate everything because you're limited on the amount on these activation dice, which completely changes the game up, because you could have a squad in the perfect position about to lay down some fire, but if you haven't really got the ability to activate them or get an order to them, then they're just going to sit there, and it kind of makes you rethink about it all really. It makes you think about how you're placing, how you're attacking, and even how to compose your army. If you want to run an army with a load of cheap, like certain types of units, then you've got to hope that you're going to be rolling the dice to be able to play those units, which is interesting, and it kind of adds a bit of different dynamic to the game, which I find enjoyable. It's not just straight up, here's my unit against your unit, let's throw dice until one unit's gone. It makes you think a bit more, makes it a bit more tactically, which I really like. I like in a game. I like to kind of have to think about, not necessarily going, oh, this unit will attack these people, but having to think about, oh, actually, there's a lot more than just rolling dice, which is an awesome way to play a game, I think, anyway. So yeah, that's just my infantry force. You can't quite see it all on the camera, but I hope you enjoyed it anyway. Thanks for watching, and keep an eye out for any other videos I'll be doing anytime soon. Thank you very much. Cheers.